Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Harper got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle at the 15, to the 20, breaks free to the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this House Music Monday edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well then, I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Listen, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Go to that page, like that page as well. Not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real? All right, listen, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, also click the notification button. That's the bell. That's the little bell that's right there. And that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching us on our mobile app, please wait, don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. Shut the front door. Listen. We have a mobile app. So wherever you get your apps from, and it doesn't matter. I don't care whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Venture, Woolworth, wherever you get them from. You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence Counsel III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching us on a Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. Shawty. Yes, we have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Do us a solid. Listen, do this. Download Sports Zone Chicago's tile right to that particular TV, that device. Okay? Put it right next to Netflix, Apple Plus, Hulu, Prime, Max, Disney Plus, Showtime, Stars, Paramount Plus. Put it right there, in the middle of all of it. Okay? In the middle of all of it. All right, you can watch this on the big screen. You're ready because you know you've downloaded all those. You can't wait for Power Book 3, Kanan to come back out. I don't know what we're doing. Showtime, man. No more Billions. No more The Shy. Man, I don't know what to do. I don't even know what to do. But anyway, yeah, do us that favor. And here's the thing. If you are fortunate enough where you don't have, or we have more than one Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago, the Sports Zone Chicago channel to all. Yeah, that's right. To all of the Roku devices that you have in the house. Please do us. I know one might be in the room where the kids are, and you're probably never going to watch it in there, but just do us that favor, okay? Just do us that favor. Download. Just download. We'd appreciate it. Okay? Now, let me get this off. I got to look at you guys. I got to look at you. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at SportsZoneShy. That's CHI at SportsZoneShy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me, personally online, you want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. You want to know what I did? Well, here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you, folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. And if you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IGer and you do it just for the gram, just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Now, we have a phenomenal show, but we need you to get interactive with us. So listen, whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's Facebook, whether it's YouTube, whether it's our mobile app, you can't get interactive with Roku, but that's okay. Just watch us on the phone. Watch us on the big screen and have it up on the phone as well. All right. But if you're watching on the other platforms, listen, leave a question or comment on those particular platforms that'll come up here in the thread, and we'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show, and that's what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. It's you. So here's what we want. Bring it all, baby. Give us all your questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. Like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it, just bring it. Let's see who we got in the chat line already. This thing is jumping already, and I like it. Cornelius Squalls early in the morning. What up, Cornelius Squalls? What up, baby? Lavette Lee's in the Mickey Ficky house. Good morning, Mama. Happy House Music Monday. My man that I saw this weekend, Armando Emeterio Olada Jr., he's in the house. I love it. Thanks for tuning in, Papa. I appreciate it. That's the man, 50 grand. My Shawn Walls, he's in the Mickey Ficky house. It is cold outside, man. I went to CrossFit this morning. It was nippy. Woo! It was nippy. Man. My man, Luis Mejia in the house. Good morning, Papa. Rise and grind, Papa. Rise and grind. Man, listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. I know more of the usual suspects will be checking in as the show goes on. I don't know a lot about a lot, but I know a little bit. That I can tell you. Man, we could jump started early at 9:30. Chris Tubbs from WCCO Radio up in Minneapolis is going to give us a call, and we're going to talk Minnesota Vikings football as we the Bears have traveled up to Minneapolis, okay, for a Monday night matchup against the Vikings. Excuse me. Sorry. Against the Vikings tonight. And Chris Tubbs is going to call and join the show and talk with us. Good friend of the program. I've known Chris for a few years now. And every time we play Minnesota, I give him a call to give us a Vikings perspective. But then at 10 o'clock, our man Eric Kramer is going to join us. Eric's going to join us. We're going to preview the Bears game tonight. Yeah. So instead of Monday morning quarterback, it's Monday morning quarterback preview. It's a preview. So we're going to talk about what the Bears need to do to win. Okay. Deontay Foreman is out. Tyler Stevenson is out. What does this mean for Roschon Johnson? More carries. Khalil Herbert, is he 100%? What's the issue? What do we expect from Justin Fields? What do you expect from this defense? Okay. Defensive back from Minnesota, Terrell Smith, most likely, I would assume, is getting the start since Tyreek Stevenson is out. Do we anticipate them going after him? I would. But then you got the Josh Dobbs effect. They lost last week. I mean, he's human. So do we get a lot of pressure on it? What do we do? We're gonna ask Eric at 10 o'clock. So we have tons and tons. And we have some more nonsense to talk Blackhawks. No, I take that back. Nonsense to talk Bulls. And then we have a little frustrating but understandable Blackhawks to talk. So, and then we got one. If we can get it in, we'll get it in. And I might do this at the end. There's a big debate. Okay? A big debate that's going on right now in the world, in the Chicago high school world. All right. has to do with where schools get their kids from. Some people are upset about it. Understandable. All right. But you know what? You know what it really sounds like? It really sounds just like a lot of little Karens just complain. Is literally what it sounds like. All right, Chad and Becky's and Karens are complaining about shit, and it's funny because their theory, you know, I understand their theory, but here's another thing. When you're this is partly what's going on with this country. When things don't go your way, now people bitch and moan. When your kid doesn't win, now you bitch and moan. Well, it's not fair. Now it's this. Now it's that. And it's bothersome. It's bothersome. Okay? It's that entitlement now that we have going on. And it's really annoying. It's really annoying. And valid points they do some parents in some suburbs make? Yes. But there's a flip side to that as well. There's a flip side to that as well. And a lot of football was had this weekend. Okay? A lot of football was had. You know, we had the Prep Bowl, my St. Rita Mustangs, victorious. We had the 8 classes of the state championship finals over in Blono and Bloomington Normal. Okay. And that's where this whole thing started, has picked up steam again. So one of the suburbs, one of the nice little suburbs, got their asses handed to them last week. Okay, and then now they're really, really picking up steam with this whole scenario. But we'll talk about that later, because that really kind of annoys me. Okay, it really, really, it makes it, again, to me, it's one of those things where all of a sudden you're not getting your way. Little rich people, little seclusionists, like we're better people. So and we're not getting our way. So now we want to bitch and moan. Now we want to complain. Yes, one town, one team. Yes, yes. Steve-O. That's funny. Well, let's get it started. Because at 9:30 we're jumping in with my man Chris Tubbs. So we gotta get it rolling. So guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Yes. You know, he got those flyers ready. Oh man, the first top of the morning topic: the Blackhawks, baby. Our Blackhawks, yeah, that was a rough one. Our Blackhawks fall to the St. Louis Blues, 4-2. Soderblom stopped 24 of 28 shots over at the United Center. Donato, he scored a goal and an assist, his fourth lamp lighter. I couldn't say that. His fourth goal of the season, his fifth helper of the season. Tkachuk scored his first goal of the year as well. Kaiser had 2 assists, his third and fourth on the season, and Phillips added another helper, his second of the season. we know what's going on. We understand. All right, we understand that the Blackhawks are literally in the rebuild, and they have their star piece. They're trying to find a goalie. They're trying to build around them. It's just going to take time. So we have patience for them. Keep it exciting. The Blackhawks aren't getting blown out in games. Okay, every so often it happens, but it happens to every team. They get blown out. Yesterday, 4-2. Okay, keeping it close. The next top of the morning topic. This is just pathetic. The Bulls. All right, the Bulls lose yesterday, and let me tell you something. They moved to the Brooklyn Nets over in New York City, in Brooklyn, 118-109. DeMar DeRozan led the way with 27.6 boards, 6 helpers. Cody White, 23.6 rebounds, 4 assists. Zach LaVine, 20.6 boards, 4 assists. Patrick Williams contributed with 20 points, 4 rebounds. Nikola Vucevic, 9 times. 9 points for Vuce. What the hell is that? What is that? How much is he thinking this was a mistake re-signing here? And how much of a mistake do the Bears think? I mean, do the Bulls think, yeah, we shouldn't have re-signed him here? All right. I don't get it. He missed a couple of threes too. This whole thing, they're just off. You sit there and I look at this team and there's talent in and around this team, but why they can't play together? One of the things that bugged me yesterday, Stacey was talking, there was a defensive lapse, and Stacey's like, oh, these guys got to learn to do this. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, learn. I was like, the hell with learning. This core has been together for 3 years. 3 years. There's no learning involved. There's no learning necessary. If they don't have it at this particular point, when are they going to get it? And that falls in coaching. Because if you're either coaching it or you're allowing it, one or the other. You're coaching it or you're allowing it. And the defensive rotations, horrible. Many times. Vucevic had 6 points, 9 boards, 5 assists. But the defensive rotations were horrible. And I get it. I understand. Brooklyn is a good 3-point shooting team. All right. They shot 53 3-pointers. 53 shots from beyond the arc for Brooklyn. They made 25, almost 40%. 47.2%. Bulls, on the other hand, they're still not there yet. All right. They shot 32. They only made 12, which is a lovely 37.5. So almost average 40%, but there comes the volume again. All right. Brooklyn shoots 53. We shoot 32. 21 more 3-pointers, and we lose by 11. 21 more 3-pointers. Do you think that but then again, they have 3-point shooters. We don't. We don't have any dead-eye, straight-up 3-point shooters. We don't. Kobe White has gotten much better. Torrey Craig, okay, Javon Carter, he had 8 minutes, he had no points. 0 for 2 from the field. Torrey Craig, 4 points. He's 1 for 2. 0 for 0 from me. He didn't shoot a 3-pointer. It's like Kobe White, 5 for 12 from beyond the arc. Okay, a little less than 50%. But that's good. But then P. Willis, 4 for 5. DeRozan, 2 for 4. Vooch, 0 for 3. Said Kobe White, 5 for 12. Zach, 1 for 5. Jalen Carter, 0 for 2. Ayo Dosunmu, 0 for 1. So we got to get our numbers up as far as 3-point shots go. But if we're going to continue missing, then you don't want these numbers to go up, because then it's just a wasted possession. It's just a wasted possession. It's frustrating. Where do you go? What do you do? That is a conundrum that we are in. Ooh, hot, but good. Hot, but good. Hot's usually good. We got people talking. Becky didn't have her collagen this week. Levette's talking about the high school topic. We looks like we may be able to get to it. And Luis, my nephew's getting ready to go to high school. Good luck on his choice. This week is probably the entrance exam, if I'm not mistaken. So hope he narrows it down. I'm sure. Yeah. AC Adam, good morning. Good morning. Baba Bear down. Yes, Vooch, he was defensive liability. All right, but what else are we going to say? We say this damn near every show. Moving on to the next top of the morning topic. The Bears, baby. Yay. The Bears travel to Minnesota for a Monday night matchup against the Vikings, excuse me. Kickoff at 7:15. You can catch that game on Channel 7 locally or ESPN, or you can listen to it on the flagship AM 1000. The Bears are going to be without a couple of players today. All right. Be without a couple players. Okay. Deontay Foreman is not playing running back, which that hurts us a little bit. But it means more opportunity for Roschon Johnson. You've wanted opportunities. Now's your chance. Today's your day. Okay. Today's your day. Tyreek Stevenson is out. All right. So Terrell Smith is most likely going to get the start at the opposite Jalen Johnson. Okay. You got the Torrey Craig, the Joshua Dobbs story, which is a great story, but he's a journeyman quarterback for a reason. Okay. Can you get pressure on him? Can we force him to turn the ball over? Because they'll fumble. They fumbled. They lead the NFL 14 fumbles. So it's not an area that we need to lack in. We need to really be aggressive going after the ball today. Really need to be aggressive. It's very unfortunate that, we're missing some of our players, but you know what? That's the NFL. Next man up. But Terrell Smith, you want to play? All right. If Jalen Johnson leaves, here's your chance to show this organization that if for whatever reason Jalen Johnson leaves, they're in good hands. That's why they drafted you, because as an insurance policy, if they couldn't sign Jalen Johnson, you would be the starting corner opposite Tyreek Stevenson. So what are you going to do? Here's your chance to show that you can play. Here's your chance to show that you're not a liability. And guess what? They're going to come at you. They're going to come at Smith. I would. He's a rookie. Unlike Stevenson's a rookie, and you saw he was the most targeted cornerback in the NFL. So if I'm the Minnesota Vikings, I'm gonna do the same shit. I'm throwing at the rookie. You're gonna get a whole bunch of non-calls, or I should say, you're not gonna get the benefit of a lot of calls for a rookie. Can you fight through it? Does it affect you mentally? Does it take away some of your aggressiveness later in the game? We're going to find out. So is Bears Nation. They're going to find out as well. So we do get to this. We are able to get to this last top of the morning topic, and this is bothersome to me. Public versus private. Okay? This is at the what game? Who did they play? This is at the Mount Carmel game last week. Mount Carmel was playing, not Wakanda, another town up there, out northwest, whatever. And Mount Carmel blew them out. Blew them out. And the people had this sign: one town, one team. So people are are getting upset that, and now they want to start, and this is going to be proposed soon because, when you're loud enough and you bitch enough, things happen. It's going to happen where you're going to have the private schools have their own state championship tournament, and the public schools have their own state championship tournament for football. And the issue is this: private schools, the Mount Carmels, the St. Rita's, the St. Lawrence's, the Loyolas, they can, because they can get kids 30 miles outside. Or they have a 30-mile radius that they can get kids from. Okay. And public schools usually have to stick with the kids in that town, in that district. Okay. So there's the issue. There's a district, but you can recruit. Well, both has its pros and cons. And I'm telling you, these little suburbanites are pissed that they got blown out by the city kids, and they didn't like it, and they don't like it. So they're saying, well, you can recruit. Well, guess what? There's an advantage to having a kid coming in a suburban school. All your feeder programs lead to that school, which means your kids, by the time they get to high school, they can be 3, 4, 5 years in a system coming in as a freshman. So now it's just up the level. They've been introduced to it. They played it in a couple of seasons. They know, and you get to see where your kids are at. And let me tell you something. It's difficult when you get kids from different spots. I've coached at CPS, where we have to get kids from all over the place. Chicago Public Schools, for those of you who don't know what that means. And we have to get kids, and then you got to get the kids. You got to blend them together. They came from a different system. This kid came from that different system. This kid came from another system, and we all have to get them to far. And we can't have spring ball because the kids are still in grammar school. Okay, so we got to get them in the summer of freshman year. And if it's a whole new system for them, well, now we have to build them and develop them freshman year. Whereas the suburbs, these kids already hit the ground running. They've been in the system for 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years, depending on when they started playing ball. There's a chemistry there. So the bottom line is people are pissed because Catholic schools are blowing people out. They're blowing people out. I don't know. It wasn't a problem. This wasn't a problem until more people started going to the suburbs. They have a little wealthier people, little different tax bracket, and their kids weren't winning. All of a sudden, now it's an issue because it wasn't an issue before. Catholic private schools have been able to recruit like this, get able to get kids for like this forever. It wasn't an issue before, but now it is. Now that their kids aren't winning, now they have their own. Let's think about it. They're a lot more. There's better training facilities. If you're dealing with city schools, they're landlocked. If you're fortunate like St. Rita, we have land that we can play. We have practice fields. A lot of other schools don't. We have our own stadium. A lot of schools don't. It's just something to bitch and moan about because your kids aren't winning state championships and you don't like it. My kid's not winning, so something has to be wrong. Something has to be done. We got to take a break because you're going to get me fired up, and I don't need to get fired up. We got to take a break, and on the other side of the break, we're going to welcome Chris Tubbs coming back. We got a big Monday night matchup. We're going to talk Vikings, Bears. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
And Justin Fields on the RPO, pulls it, runs it, and slides down. 2nd down and 4, off the fake. Fields climbing the pocket, stepping up, and sidearm slings to DJ Moore into Detroit territory. High snap, Fields handles, and gets rid of it calmly. This is Cole Kmet, the tight end, who's in the best stretch of his career. Little fake roll to the left, coming back to the right, and that is a special throw past the line to gain for Equanimous St. Brown. A fake to Herbert. Good job by Tyler Scott to get Hutchinson out of the way. And then Bishop. 1st and goal. Give it to Foreman. He walks in for the touchdown. An exceptional welcome back drive for Justin Fields.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Fox, as you saw. That was the Bears last Sunday in Motown, where we snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. That was a rough one. That was a game we should have had. We had them for 55, 56 minutes, 56 plus minutes. We dominated that game and gave it away at the end. Well, we're facing a team that kind of gave it to us a couple of weeks ago. About 5 weeks ago, Justin Fields was actually out because that particular game. And started his metamorphosis, so to speak. But we're going to bring in a guy. He's a friend of the program. Known each other for a few years now. And he's over at WCCO up there in Minneapolis. All right. You can find him on Twitter, 8:30 a.m. WCCO Radio, 8:30 a.m. in Minneapolis. You can find him on Twitter at CM Tubbs. Not CM Punk. That was last night. CM Tubbs. Welcome back to Shawn and Maya, Chris Tubbs. Chris, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Thanks for your
Hey,
time.
it's clobbering time, baby. What a night Saturday night in Chicago, huh? The Second City Saint returning after Survivor Series. Oh, it's about to go down in WWE, but
It really is.
other than that, no, it's good, man. I'm always happy to be back on with you, my friend. Here's to you. Coffee in the morning, Sean.
I have tea with honey, a green tea with honey.
Oh, it's the green tea and honey time of the year, huh?
Yes. It's a little cold today, a little nippy out there.
It's never cold in Minneapolis.
Well, speaking of Minneapolis, you guys came here and you snatched one. You stole one from us. You literally just took it from us. You punched us in the face. Literally, play number 1 on that sack, and you didn't give it back.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Nah,
sorry about that.
Why do I feel that's very insincere? Well, you had your fingers crossed. You son of a gun. So you didn't really mean it. I get it.
No.
Well, things have changed now. Your starting quarterback is out with an Achilles.
Yep.
Your number 1 receiver, one of the best receivers in the NFL. If he's not top 1, he's top 3. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Worst case scenario, top 3. He's not playing, although he might be activated, but they might activate him. That's just for the whole 21-day thing and whatever. Our defense has gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see this playing out tonight? All right. We're in your place. It's loud. Justin Fields is back. Our offensive line is back. Thank goodness. That was not fun. How do you see this playing out tonight from your perspective, especially from your offense with Josh Dobbs?
Well, first of all, I'm still very much a believer in Justin Fields. I've always been on the Justin Fields bandwagon. I still believe he's got a chance to be a special player. I believed in the talent, in college at Ohio State. I still believe in it now. Tonight, this to me, it's got the makings of a shootout. I just feel in the controlled environments that, the Vikings defense has struggled in the sense that they gamble because they don't have a lot of talent. So what Brian Flores does is he blitzes at one of the top rates in the NFL, which makes yourself vulnerable to big chunks of yardage. So I think that, Justin Fields is going to feel the pressure defensively. They got to get to him, got to contain him, keep him in the pocket. But then I feel like, especially covering the tight end in Cole Kmet, it's almost like they're willing to let the corners go one-on-one with receivers. But I feel like if they can control the intermediate part of the field and take away that security blanket, then I feel like that's where the Vikings could have success defensively. But that's a pretty big F.
Yeah, we talked about it. We were joking about it initially. The first play we had 5, so we go empty set. I was at in the press box there, and we're empty set, and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, okay, so they got 6 showing. Like, I don't know if all of them were coming or some are just showing and dropping back.
Yeah, he does a really good job of disguising the blitz. But
you have to assume that they're coming. If they're at the line, you have to assume that they're coming.
Absolutely. And then you have to slide over and max protect. And that takes one guy out of the route. So it's for Brian Flores, it's all about the numbers game.
Yeah, that first play was all on Justin Fields because it was empty set. So 2 things should have happened. One, he should have brought someone back in, or if he didn't, which was fine, you slide a protection right, which is the right call, but then you got to roll right and get away from that for the furthest guy, and that's all's got to come out within 3 steps. 1, 2, boom, it's got to go. He didn't do it. Sack first play. I'm like, oh, jeez, here we go. Here we go. He was hurt in that game. Tyson Bagent came on, and then you heard there was a big firestorm over here. Well, Tyson Bagent's better than Justin Fields. He should start, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, slow down, dude. Cracks the son of a gun.
Cracks a hell of a drug, right?
Hell yeah. So Justin's back, and Justin was able to watch. Mm-hmm. Right? He's got him, and hopefully they'll be ready because DJ Moore said, they threw some pressures that we weren't expecting. Do you anticipate Brian Flores still to bring? I mean, he blitzes at a 47% rate, more than anybody else in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. That is, if the Vikings rush 4 and play coverage, they're very, very vulnerable. Caleb Evans might not play. Jordan Hicks, their top tackler and the leader of the defense, he's out. So Brian Flores, nothing is going to change with Brian Flores. He's an amazing defensive coordinator. He is. I felt like he kind of got a raw deal with everything that went down in Miami, and you're supposed to. I mean, Brian Flores deserved better, and I'm very thankful that he ended up in Minneapolis. He's done wonders with this defense because, in terms of talent, I don't feel like the Vikings are. I mean, they might be a bottom 10 defense in terms of talent, but schematically, Brian Flores, I will put him in the top 10 in figuring out how to hide those weaknesses. And like you mentioned, disguise those blitzes. And that's where I feel like maybe you want to show Justin Fields things that he hasn't seen because he's still relatively young in his infancy. And how much of Brian Flores has he seen and what they've seen on tape isn't necessarily, I feel, what he could see tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're in the bottom 10 last year in the defensively in most categories, if I'm not mistaken, and now you're pretty close to the middle of the pack.
All you need to do is, it's amazing in the NFL. You just have to have an average defense with an average offense to be considered a playoff contender. I mean, that's where we're at in the NFL. I don't think that's an unfair statement.
So it's going to be it is going to be interesting. I'm hoping Justin Fields. I figure as a competitor that he is, he's chomping at the bit to be able to get back and attack this defense. What do you plan on doing with? I mean, if you're blitzing like he does, it's a lot of one-on-ones. There could be a lot of slants, a lot of quick hitters, especially if you're not pressed. Even if you are pressed, here comes some. I would assume there comes some slants. What do you plan to do for DJ Moore? DJ Moore is one of the top receivers in the NFL. He already has almost 900 yards this year, and quietly, and he hasn't been targeted as much as many top receivers in the league have. What do you plan to do with him? Because he alone can take over a game and break it wide open.
Yeah, I feel like DJ Moore's a guy you got to try and keep in front of you. One thing the Vikings have done this year much better in years past is they don't miss tackles. Like there are a lot of times where, playing the Vikings, there's, a little bubble screen or a little slant that might go for, 3 or 4 yards, 1 or 2 missed tackles, and it's a 15, 20-yard gain. They've been much better with that. So I feel if you can prevent DJ Moore from going deep and getting over the top, then I feel like you have a shot. But we saw, and I think we talked right after the Commanders game. I mean, that when they're clicking, they are fantastic. Like Justin Fields and DJ Moore, that game against and I know maybe that's just a byproduct of Washington just being garbage. Yeah, I mean, they couldn't stop you and I running the deep route, Shawn. And I can't throw the ball more than 15 yards. But
my bad knee, I can't be running. No,
see, that works. That works. We'd still torch Washington for 175. No, I feel like you just contain and don't allow the big play and get Chicago into 3rd and long and just let the crowd do their part tonight and see if maybe you can't get them into a 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, and then pin the ears back with the defense and let them go.
Yeah, that's going to be huge, especially because of the thing for us. We need to stay ahead of the chains. All right, 3 yards to play, 2nd and 7.
You got to grind. I don't think tonight's a night where you guys are going to be able to take the big chunks. But I feel like if you put yourself in a third and short where you have a Khalil Herbert, or you can dump a little curl off to Cole Kmet, or let the RPO with Justin Fields. Get the Vikings defense back on their heels. So to me, it all depends on what happens on 1st and 2nd down. What do you
think happens if we get a big play? Say we do get a quick slant to DJ Moore. He takes it for 30. Okay, boom. Then so now you kind of shade to him. Then maybe a little later in the series or even the next series, all right, we hit Cole Kmet for a big one. Do you think Brian Flores will back off a little if he starts to get burned on the blitz?
No, Brian Flores, nothing is going to change. Like this is who he is. This is Brian Flores' DNA. And if there's a long play, I just hope it's called back because of penalty. but no, Brian Flores, I got you with that one. Brian Flores, this is who he is. This is who he's been since he was, back at BC. I mean, he was an unheralded recruit, and then ended up he's a tape watcher, man. He's a grinder. So if there's anything he's going to do, this is who he is, and I don't think he's going to change, no matter the situation, time. I think that I don't see it changing, I guess.
Okay, this is going to be a big test for our Bears then, to realize that he's not going to stop. So in contrast, we can't stop either. We have to.
No, you got to keep. I feel like you got to keep the pedal down. You really do. I feel like this is one of those games. I do. I see this thing shooting out for some reason. I just have this weird, thing in my mind where it's going to be a little more up and down because it's a controlled environment on turf. You got two quarterbacks that like to run. You got wide receivers that I feel and skill players that can get open at times. So I feel like the big players are going to be there on both sides.
Well, let's go to the other side of the ball. And guys, we're talking to Chris Tubbs. He's from WCCO Radio, 8:30 a.m. up in Minneapolis, giving us a Vikings perspective here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Let's go to the other side of the ball. Our defense, we're going to be out with one of our corners, our rookie cornerback, Tyreek Stevenson. But we're going to replace him with another rookie, and Terrell Scott, who's big and physical and fast, just like Tyreek Stevenson. Other than that, we're pretty good. Talk to me about Josh Dobbs. I think his story is great. Believe me, I'm not putting him in Canton or anything or all pro, but this guy has done one hell, not even knowing guys' names and hitting them for touchdowns. How do you intend to attack this defense? Because you guys have fumbled the ball a lot. And we're one of the things about Coach Eberflus's defense is takeaways. Mm-hmm. How are you guys going to handle that tonight?
That's been the problem for the Vikings all year. Are the turnovers and the bugaboos. Nobody's like, oh man, if they didn't turn the ball over against Tampa Bay, they didn't turn it over against Kansas City, didn't turn it over against Phil. Well, if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Turnovers are just part of football. Joshua Dobbs last week had a real problem in terms of the turnovers. A couple of fumbles, interception. Mind you, the interception was not his fault because his arm was, hit as he was throwing the ball. Yeah. So I'm not going to put that on him. Josh Dobbs gives this offense something that they haven't had since the days of Dante Culpepper, and that is a dual threat quarterback. He's not the pure passer that Kirk Cousins is, but he's not a sitting duck in the pocket like Kirk Cousins was. I'm going to be very, very curious tonight. The matchup between Montez Sweat and Brian O'Neill. Your edge rusher that you got from Washington and the all-pro right tackle. It is going to be so interesting to see what kind of pressure they can, keep off of Joshua Dobbs. And then if he has a chance to create and things break down, the athletic ability is there. There's no question. The athletic ability, no question, is there. But there's a reason why he's been a backup for his entire career. Kevin O'Connell, coming from the Los Angeles Rams, he, while the offensive coordinator, he didn't call any plays. He designed that offense for Sean McVay. Like, his fingerprints are all over it. So I feel if there's somebody that can scheme a quarterback in the skill set, I feel like it's going to be Kevin O'Connell. And now that we're 3 weeks into it, and he hasn't had Justin Jefferson, and he won't have Justin Jefferson tonight, I mean, it's a TJ Hawkinson sort of game is what it's going to be. He's got like a 30% target share. So it's going to be TJ Hawkinson. That's going to be the guy that this offense runs through 87. There's no question.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We got some youngsters. We re-signed Andrew Billings. We got him in the offseason, and he showed one hell of a lot. They signed him mid-season. His first season isn't even over, and they extended him because this guy's collapsed. He's stopping the run. He's collapsed in the pocket from the inside. And you and I both know quarterbacks hate when the pocket collapses from the inside. You can't step up. You can't follow through on throws. All right. And it's just a real big problem. And then our rookies. All right. Jervon Dexter Sr., the kid from Florida. He had to adjust a little bit. He had a 2-gap system coming out of Florida. Now he's penetrating one gap. Now he's penetrating, and this dude is really, really, really coming into his own.
Yeah, he's
better.
he's a really solid player as well. Like I feel like even at 3-8, I mean, they're I think if you look at the Bears, if you step back objectively, I mean, I can see the pieces that are there. It's just a matter of Ryan Poles putting the rest of it around it. I mean, I see it. I see it. I mean, there are a lot of holes, but I feel like, yeah, you've got some building blocks on both sides of the ball.
I agree. What about your run game? Do we have to worry about anything there with that? Because we're pretty stout on the run.
Yeah, I mean, unless you got Adrian Peterson coming back now. Yeah. Alexander Madison has had a real hard time being efficient with the ball. Madison is, up here, everybody's talking, the changing of the guard. Ty Chandler is a much more explosive back. He just is. So if this offense is going to go, Ty Chandler is going to be the more productive offensive back in terms of yards per carry, explosive plays, get him out in space, do all that fun, football jargon. But Alexander Madison, what he does being a little more physical is he's needed more in the blitz pickup. So to me, it's a matter of what are the Bears, what does Matt Eberflus, what does he do defensively? And if they bring pressure and they want to blitz, then I think you're looking at, Johnny Munt and a Josh Oliver a little bit more, and Alexander Madison, picking up the blitz and keeping Joshua Dobbs, away from any pressure. But if we're talking about just a pure, running back production wise, the changing of the guard, he had 14 touches last week. So to me, it's got to be Ty Chandler, and the coaching staff doesn't trust him. So it's just a matter of how much work does he get? That's going to be the key. But I do feel like we could be looking at a 60-40 split between Alexander Madison and Ty Chandler.
What about Jordan Addison? I mean, this kid is, I was really worried about him the first time we played, and he didn't really, I think he scored against the first game. He didn't go off. But since then, he's gone off. He's really taken advantage of his time, of no Justin Jefferson, what do you expect from him today at home?
I think they'll find ways to get him open. He really likes, if they work him out of the slot, he likes a lot of the seam routes. So if they can get him lined up, with safeties, I feel like he's got a lot of speed to get past safeties. Like a lot of his touchdowns have been where he's created just maybe a yard or two separation. So at the end of the day, Jordan Addison is going to be the number 2 weapon in the passing game. But to me, it's if you get TJ Hawkinson going, if you get him going underneath, then I feel that opens up things for Jordan Addison. If Addison's got to be the one and the pressure is going to be on him, then we'll have to see. But I mean, Jordan Addison has done a real nice job stepping up with Justin Jefferson out. But again, I don't feel like this is a defense. They're not built to go, 15, 20, 25 yards downfield.
Dude, Chris, great stuff, buddy. Before I let you go, two things. One, prediction. Yes. What's your prediction for tonight?
Because it's at US Bank Stadium, I do feel like it's maybe a 24-17 Vikings win, but I think it's going to be a fun game. It's not going to be one of these terrible primetime games that we have a tendency to see, but I do think because of the controlled environment, Vikings, I feel like they really need this one going into the bye so they don't pressure Justin Jefferson back. And then, you get him back, and then it's the NFC is very, very mid. I think there's Philadelphia, there's San Francisco, maybe Dallas. They're a little bit, they run hot and cold. I mean, outside of that, the NFC is just, it's mid. That's the best way that I can describe it. So I think the Vikings are looking post-bye. Not to say they're overlooking the Bears. I mean, nobody here is overlooking the Bears. I'm just talking about in terms of managing Justin Jefferson's injury. So I feel like they're going to try and scheme this one up tonight and give Justin Jefferson another 2 weeks before, Los Angeles or Las Vegas in a couple of weeks.
She said 24-17, huh?
24-17 Vikings. Yep.
I have the other way. I have 24-20 Bears. I just think just Justin coming back. I think he's learned a lot. Being able to watch his mistakes. Watch Tyson Bagent do some good things. Watch Tyson Bagent do some bad things. Watch himself on film, do some good things for the first couple of games. Watch himself on film do some bad things for the first couple of games. And I think it's just, whenever you're injured and you have to look at the game completely different, it usually helps. And it helped last week. We had a solid performance. If our receiver runs through the ball, he's easily about 250 yards in the air. So, and that's the key, right? When you're looking at the tape, if you can find something and you can build off of that, that's great. Use the downtime productively instead of sitting there, wallowing in your misery. Well, let everyone know where they can find you and your work online, buddy.
Well, I am at CM Tubbs, like you said, not CM Punk. I am not the Second City Saint. I did not make a return to WWE on Saturday night, but yeah, you can follow me on X or Twitter or at CM Tubbs, and WCCO Radio. That's what pays the bills up here.
Hey, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate your time as always.
Appreciate you, Shawn. It's always fun, my dude. And be well.
Likewise. All right, buddy.
Appreciate you.
Guys, that's Chris Tubbs from WCCO Radio up in Minneapolis, giving us a Minnesota Vikings perspective. It's going to be a good one. I really think it's going to be a good one. I think both teams are evenly yoked. And it's going to come down to who makes the turnover, who makes the fewest mistakes. Whoever wins the turnover battle, I think, is going to have a huge advantage. It's not always true if you look at last week in our Bears game. So, but I think it's going to be, I think this week it'll be a huge, huge advantage. So listen, we're going to take a quick break. All right. On the other side of the break, we're going to go for EP or EK. I mean, Eric Kramer is going to join us and give us a Chicago Bears perspective. Don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
To run for 17, back he goes, here comes Chubb, there goes the ball, touchdown, Mooney! Jones will walk at the left tackle, time for Fields, now he'll accelerate to get the first down, great tackles, and he's off to the races, oh, he got a terrific block.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
This year?
Halfway through the second, Fields keeps it here. They got Okwara out of the play. Fields rips one, and he finds Darnell Mooney. They'll stick with the run, and they get the first down. It's Roschon Johnson. Oh, wow, Lions are bringing the house. Fields throws underneath. DJ Moore gets away from Joseph, and Moore fighting for the first down. Wow. Pressure coming from Jack Sanborn here, and he just came around the edge and wrapped up Jared Goff for his first sack of the season. He is snapping to Fields over Cody Whitehair. There's Foreman, nice run, steering his way to a first down out to the 33-yard line.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning in Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips, your Fox, as you see. It's a rough one rough one last week, but you know what? We're looking to build on that, to change that, I should say, today. But you know what time it is, baby? It's time for our man, Eric Kramer.
This segment of Shawn and Maya in the Morning, Monday Morning Quarterback with Eric Kramer, is sponsored by Goal Mental Wellness, Inc. Because your life is calling. Goal, get out and live. Because life is too short.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing. So don't be
Rick, what's up, buddy? How are you?
Very good, man. Happy Monday morning to you.
Yes. How was your Thanksgiving?
You're right. Today's the day. It's got to happen, man.
It does. Eric, you're getting me fired up. You're gonna get me fired up, dude. You're gonna get me fired up. But before we go, how was your Thanksgiving?
It was great. We were just quiet. My aunt and uncle live, 10 miles away from me or so.
Okay.
So it was just us and my girlfriend Anna and a couple other, one of their daughter. And so, yeah, we had a great time.
Okay. Yeah, same here. Family out in one of the burbs out in Elgin. It's cool. We go out there. We usually spend the night because I don't feel like driving after that food coma. I'm like, nah, I'll just stay there. Only bad thing is that I had too many freaking sweets, dude. Damn.
Oh yeah.
The pump. So I was in charge of bringing the cheesecake. My cousin, she's like, bring the cheesecake.
Did it make it from your car inside?
Yes, it made it. Thank goodness. But I'm at Costco, and I get the regular cheesecake, and they have
heavy duty ones.
Yes, like this big. So I'm like, they have a pumpkin cheesecake. I'm like, that doesn't sound really good. And so I just turn away, and the ladies, then you've been in Costco, they got the little stands all damn near every aisle.
Yeah. It's like going to Disneyland only for free food.
For food, yeah. And she's like, "Oh, do you want to try some of the pumpkin cheesecake?" I'm like, "Is it really good?" I'm like, "That sounds disgusting." She goes, "No, try it." I'm like, "All right, just give me a little cup, little." I tried. I'm like, "Oh my goodness!"
Right?
I had to go back and grab another one, and I sent my cousin a picture.
Here's what I've learned about Costco, as if they need any other advertising. Nothing comes out of there bad, right? Nothing. So
the rotisserie chicken, the ribs, wings,
right? You can't lose.
Legs.
You cannot lose.
No. Whew. So yeah, that was my downfall. Was had too much cheesecake over the weekend, and
sounds like it was self-inflicted. So
yeah, it was a fight. Like I shouldn't have it, but I really want it. I really want it. I shouldn't have it. I had two angels. I had an angel and a devil, one on each shoulder.
Yeah, we all have those.
Well, let's get to tonight. I'm excited for tonight. Justin Fields is actually going to be facing a team that knocked him out about 5-6 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
He was unable to handle the blitz. Most of the guys were unprepared, as DJ Moore told us. They weren't ready for the pressures. Now there's no excuse. All right, you know who you're dealing with. Brian Flores is going to blitz at least 47% of the time, if not more. All right. How do you see Justin Fields playing today?
Probably building off of what he did last week. Now, granted, me, you, and probably half of Chicago has always been fooled into believing, they looked good last week, therefore. So I think it's just doing simple things. And I think it's no coincidence that Justin Fields probably had his best game of the season last week after sitting and watching Tyson Bagent do it for 4 straight weeks. Mm-hmm. And so it's really simple. I mean, from his perspective, meaning Justin Fields, it's as simple as reading coverages, dropping back with some efficiency, and getting to the ball to the open guy. I got it. He only threw for 160-something yards. That doesn't count the one that was it Tyler Scott would have had he not fallen down the staircase trying to catch what was a perfect throw. And I think he made good, efficient decisions. And you saw just in the little highlights that you guys showed where, I mean, DJ Moore is a freaking freak. So he catches a ball, 10 yards shy of the first down marker and bulldozes his way over effortlessly. And they got some players on this team. And so now it's just a matter of, can you do it consistently at the end of the game, which when most games are decided.
Yeah, his quarterback rating is like 120 something in the first 3 quarters, and it drops down to like 50 or so, give or take, in the fourth quarter. He's got to step up. And, as much as, I'm a Justin Fields guy, but I've never, ever shied away from critiquing him, saying that he must play better. And there are times that he must play better. And granted, that touchdown, the pass to Tyler Scott, he can't play much better than that. Other plays,
you
he got to play
much better than Justin Fields just did.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm anticipating that due to his competitive nature. You're on the road, first of all. You're a division foe, secondly. The division foe, the team that knocked you out, thirdly.
You got it.
And so if Justin Fields is able to get, which we've been talking about ad nauseum since last year, get the ball to the playmakers early. So they're blitzing. So if they're blitzing, they're not zone. It's man. Get it. Here's where Luke Getsy needs to help him. He's got to throw quick. He got to throw slants. He's got to throw quick hitches. He's got to throw just curls or comebacks and move the pocket. All right. And that's where Getsy can help. What can Justin Fields do to help with these blitzes when, like play 1, the last game? They had 5 because we were an empty set. They showed 6. What can he do to attack this defense and literally punch them in the mouth? Because when you blitz, you leave yourself vulnerable more often than not.
So in every offensive system, there is the system itself accounts for every situation that requires you to in case of a hot throw. Okay, so meaning if they're bringing more than you can protect, then it's always going to be by a number 1, like one extra guy is coming, which means on that side of the field, one receiver is looking, he's breaking off his route, whatever it is, and he's looking for the ball. And it's going to net you minimum 5 yards. So case in point, last night, went to the Charger game, or yesterday, Sunday night, and they're playing Baltimore. At the end of the game, the Chargers, all they need to do is get a first down to keep the drive going. It's 3rd and 6. Baltimore brings one more than they can protect. Guess what they don't do? Throw a hot read. And so, first of all, in 3rd and 6, you shouldn't be you shouldn't have a pass called. You should always have, in that down and distance, you should always have at least 1 tight end and 2 backs, or 2 tight. You should be able to protect 7, meaning the defense is going to force you to throw hot and bank. They can stop you before you get to that first down marker. That's the critical down, 3rd and 6. So a down distance. And so by play call and personnel, you have to account for that. Now, Brandon Staley is getting fired. I guarantee it, from being the head coach at the Chargers, right?
Chargers.
I was going to say San Diego, the LA Chargers now. And so in the same way, there's a couple coaches on the hot seat in Chicago, Luke Getsy being one of them, but more importantly, Matt Eberflus. And so they've got to come up with a game plan where they are accountable for 4 quarters, not just the players. And so what can Justin Fields do? Ensure that he communicates that in this down and distance, you have to call this play with this personnel, or I'm calling a fucking timeout.
Or calling a damn audible
timeout, and I'm going to change the play in the huddle. That's how it's going to go, because I have the final say. I call the play. You don't. You give me the play, and I choose whether I do or don't.
Yeah, bottom line. And that's where that little bit of an asshole's got to come in that I wish Justin had a little more, and because all the great quarterbacks have it. All the great quarterbacks have it. And, you're the one out there, or he's the one out there getting his head knocked off. He's the one out there, all right, getting chased and getting sacked and getting destroyed. He has the final say, and I wish he would do And I hope, and he should have that ability, but I wish he would do it more and say, I don't like that play. We're doing this. It's 3rd and 3. They're coming. I need a slant. I need a slant to DJ Moore, period. All right. DJ, the first guy most likely isn't going to tackle him, and he could probably gain 3 yards. First down, move the sticks. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. Let's go on the other side of the ball. Well, no, hold on. Let me stay on this side of the ball real quick. The running game. Deontay Foreman is out. Okay, but that means more opportunities for Roschon Johnson. How do you see that going? Because now you got Khalil Herbert, who didn't look 100% last week. I know he was back from an injury and that ankle sprain. Maybe this extra week he got it a little better. But talk to me about Roschon Johnson. I like him. He's a power back. He's got some wheels. He's very physical. How do you see this run game going out without Deontay Foreman? How do you see them attacking Minnesota?
Well, I think last week we saw Justin Fields hit his stride as a runner, passer/runner, and he was efficient in both. Some of the runs were scrambles, some were designed. He is a freaking threat, and so which makes anybody carrying the ball back there better than they would without Justin Fields. And so I'm looking forward to see Roschon Johnson kind of start to hit his stride. He's a first-year player with, we can all see skills that go beyond. And he's a good route runner, pass receiver. He can finish runs. He's got the speed to take it the distance. He can break tackles. He's
good in pass pro.
He's good in pass protection. So he's a good all-around back and a budding great all-around back. This is and timing in everybody's career is critical. This is his time. If you're going to step up, if there's one game in a season where this is your time, this is his. Because you just mentioned, there's other backs that are dinged up right now. Justin Fields is coming off a really good game where he is a good, running quarterback. You've got an offensive line that is mauling people in run blocking. Detroit is one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they made him look silly at times.
Yeah.
And so, write it. Roschon Johnson, this is your time, man.
I agree. And you know what? We had another rookie had an opportunity to come up big last week, and he didn't. That was Tyler Scott that we referenced earlier. And that's the one thing as a rookie, there's always a key moment. When you're a rookie, you're trying to fit in. All right. You're trying to get the trust of your teammates because they don't trust you yet. Yeah. I don't give a damn where you are. Is if you're a first round pick, second round pick, and the lower round pick you are, the less and less and less they trust you. And they don't trust you to begin with.
You and your family care where you get drafted. No one in that locker room cares. Nobody cares. So, as you said, what they care about, can you come through when it's your turn?
And Tyler Scott had the opportunity last week, and he didn't come through last week. And I like what Justin said. Justin said, I'll go back to him. And that's cool, and you should. All right. But now here's this thing with Roschon Johnson. Can you stand up? Can you separate and say, hey, listen, can you show your teammates that they can trust you? Can you show your coaching staff that they can trust you? Because if they can, well, first of all, there's more carries, which is exactly what you want. Mm-hmm. Okay, but now you're putting pressure on Khalil Herbert, but it's making him better. And when Deontay Foreman comes back, it's going to make him better because he's still getting tape for his next team, which I still hope it's the Bears, but that's another story. So he's getting tape. He needs more tape as well. So it just makes it better. So hopefully for Roschon Johnson, he should know it's his time to step up. And I hope he takes advantage of it because if he does, it's going to go a long way in helping his Bears team get a dub today, and a dub we really, really, really need.
Remember, we're talking about a guy who sat behind Bijan Robinson at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So he was waiting on a shot there that didn't come. And when he was drafted in a position where obviously he showed enough that there was promise there. Well, kind of in the same fashion, he showed enough that there's promise here too. But now at this point in the season, we're 11, 12 games into the season. Those first-year players in terms of college football, the season's over. So it's kind of like you're not a rookie anymore.
Right.
And this is the perfect timing for Roschon Johnson that we've been talking about right now to he knows this, just do what you do every day in practice. This is where your fundamentals come in and just focus on getting better at those daily, as he's probably been doing since he got drafted and showed up to that first minicamp. that's what you do. And so this is, like we said, this is the perfect time for him to just don't put any pressure on yourself. Just do what you do every day.
I couldn't agree more. Guys, we're joined by Eric Kramer, former Chicago Bears quarterback, talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Let's go to the other side of the ball. They don't have a really good running game. We just got off with a radio personality up in Minneapolis. So the run game isn't very good. They're out with Justin Jefferson. All right, thank goodness, because that's a beast in his own right. What do they need to do? They're probably going to stop the run since they don't have a good run game. But how do they beat this team then? Because they lost Kirk Cousins with a torn Achilles. This Josh Dobbs comes in on Wednesday and wins a game on Sunday. This guy is getting better, but they don't have any receivers except Hawkinson. How do they stop this Minnesota Viking offense? Who do they look to corral or contain?
Well, I think you said it. Obviously Justin Jefferson is down, but the big key that's down is Kirk Cousins, because the guy gets no respect out of anybody around the league, yet he's one of the best decision makers, and he can adjust protections. He gets the ball to the right guy at the right time, moves the chain, scores touchdowns, and yet nobody ever mentions how good he is. Well, he's out. Justin Jefferson's out. You're right. Dalvin Cook's gone. And so they so easily dominated the Bears last year, so easily. Didn't happen this year because a lot of those guys are gone. And then now Josh Dobbs, this sort of, out of the cornfield guy, comes in and starts playing like we're hoping Justin Fields can play. And only because they lost the game against the Broncos, Josh Dobbs still was playing the way he normally does. It's just he had a turnover or two. But the way to contain him is like, that's the guy you got to contain. And they're going to find receivers. I don't care if Justin Jefferson's out or not. And as you said, they still got TJ Hawkinson. They will manufacture a run and pass game. But the defensive line has got to be dominant. Like, enough already. You've got high draft picks across the board. You went out and got Montez Sweat. You've added pieces in the offseason and free agency with the linebackers and Ngakoue. All right, now it's time for you to actually win a game by yourselves. I mean, the secondary, all of it, it's got to start fitting together. And just as the offense, you gotta take it upon yourselves. You snuff out drives like before they ever get going. What would have been 5 and 6 yard runs are now no gain. And it's got to be 3rd and long every time there's a 3rd down. It can't be 1st down, 2nd down, 1st down again. And those are the things that has to happen. And it's a mentality thing. I saw a quote from Jaquan Brisker talking about at the end of the game and in crucial moments, it's 90% mental, 10% physical. And he's right. And there's got to be an internal grit, drive, grind that you're okay with. And that you not only are okay with, but that the mentality of those around you and all the guys in that locker room, that's what you play with. That's the David Montgomery that just went to Detroit. That's the guys that are like Tevin Jenkins that are still here, and the guys that are younger that are kind of Brisker himself and are starting to build that mentality. That's how you get over that hump. Defensively, you've got to snuff out. You got to, before this game even gets to be a game, you got to do your job.
Eric, you're getting me fired up because you just named those people. You named those dogs that we have that we need, and we need more people like that. Tevin Jenkins, Jaquan Brisker, those guys will run through you. They will put how many times have we seen Tevin Jenkins put people in the 1st or 2nd row? All right, because that's his job. Whistle didn't blow yet. Well, I gotta keep taking you. unless you just let me pancake you here, I'm taking you as many rows up as I can so that whistle blows to the echo of the whistle, and then I let go and I come back. That's the mentality that they have to have, and I don't know who that leader is. Do you think Jaquan Brisker can be that leader now? He's in his 2nd year. Okay, can he be that leader, that motivator, that Ray Lewis type guy? Every great defense has that one dude. One dude who fires you up and will not accept mediocrity at all. Do you think
Ray Lewis? It's Tyrann Mathieu. It's wherever these people go, they're that guy.
Yeah.
And And so why not Jaquan Brisker? Why not some of these younger defensive linemen? Why not Tremaine Edmonds? Why not, if we're just talking defense? And why not this be Roshan Johnson's time to step up and quietly or silently, does not matter, finish runs, finish catches, score, get first downs, keep drives going. I mean, you get a team where it goes from 2 or 3 of those to 10 or 12 of those.
Now you're cooking with gas.
Yeah.
Dude, you're getting me fired up, dude. And I have one personal, well, not personal, but one question after we're done talking football. I want to ask you, and it's actually someone put it in the chat. So, talk to me about this defensive line. You talked about these guys getting better. All right, we got Montez Sweat. Javon Dexter is really the guy that I want to talk about. He's been getting better and better and better and better. Literally, you can watch it. He's growing up before our eyes.
Yeah.
Talk to me about his play tonight. Okay, I think his ceiling and people. The thing is, here's a problem with people who don't know football. All right, you look at his stats and you're like, well, he only had this many sacks in college. Okay. Oh, he only had this many. He hasn't had this many sacks to this point in the season. Okay, but if you understand we're in a microwave society. Boom, it's got to be ready in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Things aren't ready in a minute. All right, sometimes it takes 2 minutes and 5 minutes. All right. It may have taken him a half or maybe to 3/4. Talk to me about how good this guy could be, because he's starting to wreck shop on a regular basis.
Well, he's the first guy I thought of when you mentioned Jaquan Brisker. So I thought of Javon Dexter as he's, in my opinion, playing out of position. He should be the 3 technique. And he is that dominant where you can't commit one guy to him. You can't.
No.
And he's a guy that, again, rookie guy, but at this point in the season, not so much so anymore. And the Bears need that guy to wreck the game from inside. And now you've got, edge rushers and that can get penetration and cause havoc. You put Javon Dexter, he should be unblockable by one guy. He should be making tackles for losses multiple times a game. And I'm like you. I don't care if it ends in a sack or not. Pressure pounds people. And so if you got edge rushers, but then you're collapsing a pocket from the inside, where are you going to feel comfortable throwing from? And if you already don't have a great running game and you got penetration on the think of how Aaron Donald can by himself dominate a game.
Well, we've seen that plenty of times.
He's defensively and football-wise, he is Michael Jordan, the Jordanaires on defense for the Rams.
Yep.
And can Javon Brisker turn into that? Absolutely. I mean, not Brisker, but Javon Dexter.
Javon Dexter.
Yes. Yep.
You know what? From your lips to God's ears, man, because I like it. I really wish this guy the best. This guy's just and he's such a humble kid, and it's great to see guys who are so talented, be so humble but start to grow and start to believe in themselves, because there's always self-doubt. You can always say, I was this, I have the most confidence in the world, but you really get confidence when you succeed. You really get confidence when you start making plays. It doesn't matter what level you're at. You can have this false bravado because you're kind of confident on your history, what you've done in the past. But when you're stepping up a level, your real confidence comes when you make that first play, when you make that tackle for loss, when you break a double team and get a sack, when you break the double team, all right, and stop the running back. These are the things, and he's starting to do that on a regular basis. I like, and on the defensive line, give me Montez Sweat on the left, Javon Dexter at the 3, Billings at the 1, and Yannick Ngakoue on the other end. Give me those 4, and then rotate them in. Talk to me about the rotation. Speaking of rotation, talk to me about that last week. Montez Sweat was not in the last drive or a lot of, and Coach Eberflus said, it's just a rotation type of thing. But you've held the ball 40 minutes.
Yeah.
How long was your defense out there? Right. Talk to me about that rotation and the importance of having those guys on there in crunch time. The big money guys.
Okay. So how many plays in your rotate? You got one of the best D lines in the NFL with Detroit Lions. How many plays was Aiden Hutchinson out there for the Lions? It was like 90% or more.
Yeah.
And so guess who made the play at the end of the game to seal the game for the Lions?
Yep.
So, yes, Montez Sweat. Forget this freaking rotation thing in the fourth quarter. Get your ass out there. Don't come out of the game. In fact, coming out of the game isn't an option for you.
Yeah.
So don't come walking off the field.
Not $96 million.
I don't care if it's for $5. You are in the game in the fourth quarter, period. And so,
I couldn't agree more.
Everything I've heard and watched of watching Montez Sweat since he's been with the Bears has been great. And so, I mean, this is why people right now and for a while have been scratching their heads with some of the choices in game, out of game that Matt Eberflus and his entire staff make from time to time, this being one of them. That's nonsensical. It doesn't make sense to anybody. Like, who thought, oh, that's why he's not on the field, because there was a rotation? Who thought that was a good answer?
Yeah. Oh, okay, understandable. He might be tired. No, I don't give a damn. You get paid millions of dollars to keep your body in shape.
You recover from being tired on Monday, not Sunday.
So, yeah,
You've got 6 more days to recover before the next game.
Man, who are you telling? You get me fired up, dude. Because when he said that, I was like, I'm done. A rotation? Here, let's sign this guy to $96 million because he's one of the best in the NFL, and we'll keep him out because he could be tired.
As you're talking about this, that's like the NBA equivalent of load management.
Yes.
Yes. Like load management, fine for 3 quarters. When in the fourth quarter, that's out. You did load management so you could survive the fourth quarter as the guy.
Yep. Oh my goodness, Eric, you're getting me fired up today, Papa. I'm telling you. One of the things I'm not concerned with, I'm going to look at is the cornerback situation. All right, Tyreek Stevenson's out.
Yeah.
He was the most picked on cornerback in the NFL. He's a rookie, but his replacement is a rookie as well. Smith, the kid out of Minnesota, who's big, fast, physical, strong, just like Tyreek Stevenson was, and I like it. Do you think they attack him with Jordan Addison? What do you think they're going to do to this rookie cornerback who hasn't gotten much time? Tyreek Stevenson, he's kind of already made a name for himself. He's physical. He gets a lot of penalties, and that's going to happen as a rookie. But he's physical. You know what you're dealing with. How do you think they're going to attack this guy? And if so, how often?
So the answer to your question, are they going to attack him? Yes. And who didn't know Tyreek, since the moment Tyreek Stevenson stepped foot in Illinois as a Bear, who didn't know, like, he was all business. He didn't care who you were.
Yeah.
On his own team, not on his own team. He didn't care. And I think that's the mentality at whatever point in your career you are, rookie, 5-10-year guy, like that's the mentality you got to play with. So whoever comes in behind him has a model for it. And whether you do it vocally or whether you do it internally, doesn't matter. You just got to show up and play with the kind of, you just mentioned, you got to earn your own confidence. And I think, what's the guy's name behind that's coming in this week?
Terrell Smith.
Stevenson. Who?
Terrell Smith.
Terrell Smith. So I think he's earned, to me, the right to feel that way about the way he's played so far. And we've talked about the Vikings don't have Justin Jefferson. They're going to have somebody.
Jordan Addison, that receiver out of SC.
There you go. So he won't be following Jordan Addison everywhere around the field.
Right.
He'll be sticking to his side. Fine. Just do your job. And, don't give up big plays. Don't give up, be at or near the receiver when the ball arrives. Either knock it away or make the tackle. Don't let a 5 or 10-yard pass completion turn into a 40-yard run after the catch. Those are the type of things. Just don't give up big plays. This is the spotlight's on you because they're coming your way. You know it. And so, all right, that's why you were drafted. And that's why you're here as a Bear now, is to do your job.
And here's another rookie. All right, here's another rookie who's got a chance to step up. Here's another rookie who can really embrace that challenge. Say, I know you're coming after me. So, I definitely stay in my fundamentals. good back pedal. Don't get my hips turned. All right. Make sure I'm reading my if it's a cover 2, I'm reading 2-1. So I'm doing what the things I can. It's very cliche, but control the controllables. Am I making my my reads, my checkpoints, first check, second check, third check? Am I doing all this? If I can, now I just get to play football, and hopefully he's able to step up. Hopefully he's able to get a couple of PBUs, maybe a pick. God willing, a pick 6, something like that to show them do not come this way. Because you're not going to Jalen Johnson's side most of the time. So I'm happy I'm excited for him because I think they got him as an insurance policy for Jalen Johnson if they couldn't re-sign him. This kid's big, this kid's physical. All right. Yeah. He loves to be in the run game. So here's your chance to say, okay, to show why they got you, just to prove to the front office, like, you know what, we do got this guy. Maybe we could play a little hardball with Jalen Johnson. Not that I want him to. Don't get me wrong, I don't want him to, but I'm saying maybe they'll say, okay, we don't really, we can let him go knowing we have Terrell Smith. But one of the guys in the chat wants to know if you what's the difference here? The difference between Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts, beside the talent around them.
All right, let's forget the talent around anybody. So doesn't matter if it's Jalen Hurts or I'd say a better comparison between Justin Fields wouldn't be Jalen Hurts. I think it would be Josh Allen. So Josh Allen is so tantalizing because he's so talented, yet there's always a but. His decision-making, his why would you throw it to the guy when he's covered by 3 people? And why doesn't your feet and eyes take you to the next guy? Why do you have to force that throw? The freaking Buffalo Bills are 6-6, and yet, they've already fired an offensive coordinator, probably going to get the head coach fired now. And is it all Josh Allen's fault? No. And is it all Justin Fields' fault? No. The likelihood is Justin Fields won't be here next year. And to me, what he's got to do is, in the same way, Jalen Hurts, this past game, didn't have a great first 3 quarters. But when the game was on the line, he sure did. And in overtime, he sure did. And he's a guy that you ask anybody in Philadelphia, team, city, fans, coaching staff, who runs this team? Jalen Hurts does. And does anybody say that in Chicago about Justin Fields yet? No. And so we've talked about, you've got to take ownership of what you do, how you do it. And this team, the team itself, the players, the coaching staff, the fans are dying for you to take over and take ownership of this team. And until you do that, there is no comparison between you and Jalen Hurts. There just isn't. So it's just doing fundamental things very well over and over and over in moments that are at the beginning of the game, middle, end of the game. There's no doubt you come through on doing simple, fundamental things. And so far, Justin Fields hasn't, Jalen Hurts has, and that's the difference.
Okay. Last question before we let you go, man. It's always good talking to you. Not off football. Talking Bears, we're talking your former team. Have you seen the Prime Video documentary Bye Bye Barry?
I did. I did. And
you had a cameo or 2 in there. I'm like, there he is. There he is, handing the ball off.
Yeah. And so, it was, I'm glad he did that because a lot of people were questioning, okay, why at the top of your game? 10 years for most people is a career. 10 years for Barry Sanders, he still was kind of 2/3 of the way through. And it was refreshing for me to hear that from his perspective, even though he didn't really, Barry's an enigma. He doesn't go, this is why.
Right.
And It's almost like, well, it could have been this, and I just felt like it. But I have a feeling after watching that, it was more the case of, if you look at the NFC back in those days in the 90s, Washington was good top to bottom every year. They didn't always win the Super Bowl, but they were right there. But the three teams in free agency that went out and got people were the Packers, so the NFC, the Packers, the 49ers, and the Cowboys. So the Lions were the opposite of that. So every player that was good was gone while they were good. And so now, when you're a guy that doesn't care about personal records, because all the fans do, Barry doesn't, and your motivation is winning, and yet believe me, it was not coaching that was getting that team where they got. It was players. And so it was funny to me to hear Wayne Font say, you didn't have a quarterback. Bullshit. We didn't have a coach. And it was him. And whenever the hot seat, whenever he got on one, which was often, he'd fire a coach. And as though that was a solution. So that pissed me off to hear that.
Just a scapegoat.
Because he was way over his head. Everybody in that locker room knew it.
Really?
But I loved hearing, Barry kind of, he's not anybody who ever cared about interviews, spotlight, whatever. You just didn't. And so it was refreshing to kind of hear him still be that way. And, but I think I did watch it. I didn't learn a lot, but that's all right. And I didn't think I would. And, but he was.
You were in that locker room for a few of those years.
Right. And so, anyway, I did watch it, and it was fun to see some of the guys again that I played with, and not only Barry, but it was a good walk down memory lane.
Yeah. Speaking of that, it got me kind of teared up a little bit because that was the era that I grew up in. That was the era. I mean, hell, Barry's only a couple years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
And he was 89. He was in. So that was my first year in college when he got drafted. So his rookie year was my first year in college, and but that was the year, that was the age of the running back. Him, Emmett Smiths. You had who else? Who did we have back in Chicago? In '89, it was Neil Anderson.
Neil Anderson, right?
Yeah, he's taken over for Walter Payton after sitting around. We had Dorsey Levens and up in Green Bay. I mean, it was just a great the bus in Pittsburgh or Indianapolis first, in Pittsburgh. So it was the age of the running back, and it was great to see. It just took me back to that time. And people, if you've never seen it, the highlights are great, but if you see it in a game, what he did. Don't forget, it's not how can you forget Bo Jackson as well for his short while in that time. But the way he did that, like he was that guy when the people went to the bathroom when the defense was on the field, because you could not go to the bathroom when Barry was on the field, because as soon as you went to turn around, the place was wild. You had to look because he was making someone look stupid. He was tearing ACLs. He was having people fall over. The DB on the Patriots, right? He got tackled by another DB, but I can't remember who it was. He put him in a spin cycle. He had hair. He went back this way. He went around, and luckily his teammate was able to make the stop. So the things he did, were just amazing, and it was great to watch for me. It really just fortified my love for football, for running backs in general, because I grew up on, Marcus Allen, Tony Dorsett in college, then in the pros, and obviously Walter Payton and Walter Abercrombie from the Eagles back in the day, and Roger Craig was my guy from Nebraska and a Niner. I mean, these are all the guys that I patterned my game after. And then when Barry came, it's like I'd pattern my game after him, but I'd tear up every single ligament I had in my knee. So
if you ask me, the only thing that anyone was ever going to pattern themselves after Barry Sanders was how he flipped the ball to the ref. That's about it. Because you can try to figure out what he did and how he did it. He couldn't even tell you how he did what he did.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was really interesting to see how his dad. I'd seen interviews about his dad, and I'm wondering how much of a motivating factor that was, because Barry was just kind of quiet. I mean, even at his Hall of Fame speech, he was like the third best running back, going to Barry Sanders. It's like, all right, I know you love Jim Brown. Then we figured out he was talking about him. He was better. Like, nah, not quite. How much do you think that was a motivating factor? Like, never really accepted, because most parents would be like, dude, you're the best. You're my son. You're the best. You're this, you're that. And his dad was like, no, Jim Brown. You're great, but not Jim Brown. Yep. You're great, but I was better. And how much
I think over time, given the fact that there were how many siblings of his?
10, 11?
Barry was one of 8 or 9, right?
Yeah, it's up there.
And so, this is the house he grew up in, with the dad and mom he grew up in, the siblings he grew up with. And so it's not like that was a surprise to Barry. Might have been a surprise to everybody else.
Just dad being dad, talking.
Right.
Okay.
And so I think what Barry's dad, William, was that his name? And what he did for that family, and Barry, along being one of the family members, is he gave that family an example of what a great work ethic looks like. Yeah. And so, I think Barry, like any kid, looks up to both of his parents for guidance and kind of an example of what to follow. And if you ask me, his dad gave a great one. And it's funny how William Sanders loved the spotlight. Barry shied away from it.
Yeah.
And he understood that and didn't have a problem with it. And he didn't have a problem with his dad thinking Jim Brown was the best and that William Sanders was better than Barry Sanders. Because I think internally, he just accepted his dad for who he was, and that was fine with him. But if you don't think William Sanders, if you don't think Barry felt William Sanders' love and acceptance and appreciation for who he was, then you didn't know Barry's dad like Barry did.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it really it really brought me back, obviously, the early 90s, and it just my love of the game was really fortified then. Like I said, I loved Tony Dorsett, I love Walter Payton, I loved those Marcus Allen back in the day. I love those guys, the guys that I first watched and I became a running back. But then that they were because they were my age, and I was like, well, I want to get a chance. I can do that. I wanted I just needed a shot, and I wanted it, so I patterned my game. And that's what any good player do. You watch players and you say, oh, let me try this. Let me do this. Oh, he does this well. Maybe you're always working on your game. You never stop working on your game ever if you want to be great. And it got to me. It made me feel a sort of a special kind of way, because it was just cool to see that, because you'll never see that again in the history of life ever. Ever.
I would agree with you. You're not going to find the combination of, in terms of Barry, that talent combined with that sort of humble mentality. And I mean, it's almost like nobody was less impressed with Barry's greatness than Barry.
Barry.
and it's refreshing to see, right? I mean, did Barry, when he scored or when he got a first down or when he made 11 people miss at one time, and some of these guys were in the Hall of Fame.
A lot of them were in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, right? I mean, he made people that are now in the Hall of Fame look silly. Like, I saw one time we played Chicago, and I think this is when Rodney was playing. Hey, we had 2 run plays in the run and shoot, a draw and an off tackle slant, because there was no tight end, no fullback,
right?
And didn't pull anybody, no trap, no kick out. And he gets handed the ball on a draw play, and there's him and Mike Singletary in a very tight window.
Corral. In a corral.
And at the end of the play, Mike Singletary was on his knees, didn't ever touch Barry, and Barry had first down. And that was commonplace.
Yeah.
And so I will say that was the perfect offense for him.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Because people say, well, you flop Emmitt Smith with Barry Sanders. Well, they're two different offenses. And so Emmitt Smith would not have flourished in the run and shoot.
Nope.
I don't think Barry would have flourished in that offense because that's a power running game. And it's a, inside, one back belly. And there's not a lot of running plays in that offense, but it's a power running game, which suited Emmitt Smith to a T. And they did have a nice passing game to go along with it.
Yeah, that helped.
And so, I think Barry was perfect for that offense. Emmitt Smith was perfect for his offense. The unfortunate part is that the two front offices were vastly different.
Completely. Yeah, and it was funny when his son asked him, he talked about being negative. He didn't answer the question, but he answered the question when he was, he was just tired of the grind. He was tired of this. If you're going to the playoffs every year, you're going to an NFC Championship game every year,
right.
You're not tired. You're not tired of the grind after 10 years. And, and that was the one thing. And I knew about it. I mean, a lot of people knew, like, he just wasn't getting help. He just, you know what I mean? Like, it was just the defense, or I know you had Henry Moore, but get another wide receiver, get a tight end, like bring in people around him. So when you fake that, and
well, the crime of the matter was we did have that. We did.
Yeah.
We had a stacked team, young.
Because was Johnny Morton on the team yet?
Today's Lions.
Was Johnny Morton on the team yet?
What's that?
Was Johnny Morton on the team? The
no.
wide receiver from ST?
I just met Johnny this past few weeks ago, going back to their game.
Okay.
And but we had Herman Moore, we had Brett Perriman. We had
you had a big tight end too. I can't remember.
We didn't really have, when I was there, we didn't have really a great tight end. My last
big. I remember he was a big. I want to say it was 87, 86. I don't know. I just remember you guys had a big tight end.
Let me put it to you this way: we didn't have a Jay Novacek. We didn't have a Brett Jones. We didn't have a guy who could stretch the field from the middle. So, but offensive line wise, we had very good players.
Yeah.
Defensively, across the board, solid, deep playmakers. And why you let all those people go, and the other thing offensively, we had a horrendous coaching staff. And I'm talking that starts with the head coach. So nobody in the NFL had Wayne Fontes as a head coach. Nobody would. How he got the job,
that's right.
I'm not quite sure. How he kept the job, I'm also not quite sure. And
he never got hired again.
No, and no one ever would. And defensively, I think there was a few good coaches on the staff, because Woody Wiedenhofer, who was part of that 70s Steelers defensive coaching staff, and what's his name? Lamar Leachman, who'd been with the Giants and Parcells for several years. So there were some good coaches defensively, but I can't say the same thing offensively. So when you've got a administration and 75% of a coaching staff who's kind of out of touch with being coaches, but yet you've got a great roster that you eventually let all go away, because the stage was set for two young teams in the NFC to go in the same direction. Instead, one went that way, one went that way.
Yeah, you and the Cowboys should have been you guys both silver and blue. It should have been. That's great. And I know the run and shoot because that's what we ran at Holy Cross. So it was very similar. I loved watching the Lions because they ran the same offense that we did. It was, it was really, really cool to watch. And obviously that's where I would always, try and not pick his brain, but just watch and get things out of him, obviously to help me get better. Eric, great stuff tonight. Before I let you go, two things. One, prediction. And don't say pain like Clubber Lang in Rocky 3.
Right. Well, I'm just going to say the Bears. The Bears are going to figure out a way to get over the hump that last week they played a good, solid 3.5 at least quarters to do. Internally, this team knows 3 quarters and 10 minutes or 12 minutes is not good enough. And so a full 60, though, is. And so I think that given the Vikings are sort of were a brief Cinderella story in the middle of a season where Josh Dobbs came in and kept things going. But Justin Jefferson's still down. He's not back yet. The running game's still not there yet. I think the magic show is over. As long as the Bears can do what they all look they're capable of doing, but do it the entire game. I think the Bears get away with a win. If I had to put a number on it, I would say 24-20.
Shut the front door. That's exactly what I said to my guy Chris from Minnesota. He said 24-17 Vikings. I'm like, I'll go the opposite. I said 24-20 Bears. Obviously, great minds think alike, Eric. Obviously.
That's it. That's it.
Great stuff, buddy. We'll talk next week.
You got it. All right. Thanks, Shawn.
All righty. Guys, that's Eric Kramer, former Chicago Bears quarterback. I'm being Nostradamus. He must have been watching. He just copied me and said 24-20. But that's funny. We actually had the same final score. Let's take a quick break and wrap this up with a bow on the other side. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Off the fake. Fields against the grain. Finds Jesse James. Field. With time. Delivers down the field. And Cowboys. Fake one way. Fields stumbling. Trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown.
911, operator 901. Where's the emergency?
127 Brynmere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushrooms.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency line.
Do you know how long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms. On Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel, you can find us at Sports Zone Chicago. And on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
When I'm flying, I put my helmet.
Fields. Nothing downfield. Excellent coverage so far by Detroit. Fields finally finds a wide open DJ Moore. O'Shawn Johnson gets the carry with a little stiff arm, and he's able to pick up a first down. Got past Jack Campbell with that extension. Line drive kick, so Khalif Raymond will get an opportunity here. And that's a good return. Out past the 25. No longer a good return. He loses the football. It is Bears ball. Tyreek Stevenson. White was matched up with him again. Fields climbs. Fields throws. Touchdown. 1-2 punch delivers. It's Fields to Moore for the lead.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Fox. Thought we had it. Man, what a great show, man. I just want to thank my guests, Chris Tubbs from WCCO Radio, 8:30 a.m. up in Minneapolis, calling and talking Vikings, Bears with us from a Minnesota perspective. And then, of course, my guy, Eric Kramer, former Chicago Bears quarterback, with his Monday morning quarterback segment. Yeah, giving us his thoughts. And I do too. I think the Bears are going to win. I said that already, but I think they learned. I think they have. I think they've grown. All right. Last week, experience is a son of a bitch. All right. Experience is a son of a bitch. And I think it's coming a point in time. Here's the thing that it's good and bad about this coaching staff. You're going to have to learn to win despite your coaching staff. That builds a resiliency. That builds a resourcefulness. Okay. That I think the next coaching staff is going to love. Okay. And speaking of, someone had posted it earlier. But we didn't. Someone posted it earlier. It's about Frank Reich. He got fired. He's 1 in 10. Yeah. So he's out. Real quick, that happened right before. Yeah, I want to say. So Frank Reich is out as the head coach at Carolina, and here's the thing: why wouldn't the Bears do something like this? Right? It's interesting why they wouldn't do that. You got. You can get let go of Eberflus. No one gives a damn about. Definitely, if nothing else, Getsy. If nothing else, Getsy. That would be if I'm a Bears fan, I would love that. Because it shows, all right? It shows we give a damn. There's what's that word called? Oh, accountability. That's what it is. Accountability. That's what it shows. So I don't know. The Bears have never done it, but guess what? Carolina has never done that either. Carolina had never fired their coach mid-season. So there's a chance. If nothing else, I mean, you saw Buffalo. Was it Buffalo? Yeah, fire their offensive coordinator. Why can't they do this? All right. So Frank Reich is out at head coach. Is fired at Carolina. They're 1 in 10. Do they have their quarterback? I don't know. Some people say yes. Some people say no. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, you posted it. No, I had it earlier. I just didn't talk about it, and I had to make the banner real quick. Happened last minute. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I'm really looking forward to tonight's game. So make sure you get a nice little spot. Check it out with your family and friends. Watch it. It's a good game. It's going to be a good game. I'll be at a buddy of mine's having a little get together at this bar, local cantina on 95th in Oak Lawn. So technically, I'll be Oak Lawn Shawn today. But I want to thank Chris Tubbs from WCCO Radio up in Minneapolis, and then Eric Kramer, former Chicago Bears quarterback, for coming on, making it a phenomenal show. I want to thank you guys as well. The chat was jumping. Do me a favor, hit the like button, and make sure you're following us on all social media platforms. Okay, and be sure to spread the news, spread the word about Sports Zone Chicago and Shawn and Maya in the morning. We give you great content. Okay, and we, if you like it, tell people about it. Have them, tune in, tell them about it, tell them it's why you like it. All right. So listen, I got to get out of here. I got to go pick up the warden from CrossFit. I'm going to get there early so I can make sure I get some video over her, because if I leave like 5 or 10 minutes, for 10 minutes after their class is over, I won't be able to get any video. And I want to get a video, see what her workout is today. So, guys, you have a phenomenal day. It's a little nippy here in Chicago, but remember, enjoy your loved ones, spend time with them, and remember, tomorrow's promise to no one. All right, this will be replayed today at 4 o'clock, 12:15, Second City Sports, 6 o'clock tonight. What's up, cuz? Your boy, SuperBack. I am out.